Hello everybody, my name is Ricky Curtis and today I'm going to be showing you how to use RAIDBOTS to optimize your damage. Many people were asking me, Ricky, how do I make sure that my gear is the best that I can have? Which stats should I go for and so on? Well, I'm going to show you this really cool tool. It's called RAIDBOTS and I'm going to show you what add-ons you're going to need to make sure that it works. Now, first of all, there are two main add-ons that you're going to need. First of all, it is SimCraft, and second of all, it's SimPermut. So check out these two. Links are down in the description below if you wish to download them. And now once you have them all installed, you can type in /simc. And here you get all of your stats and details. So what I like about SimC is that it allows you to also have your Netherlight Crucible traits to be in there. As you can see, I have, for example, these three traits in each one of my relic slots, and it accounts that into the information. You might get an error if you freshly just log in, so just give it some time and then it's going to work. So what we do is we do /simc. I get this text, and here I'm just trying to simulate the DPS for the gear I currently am wearing. So now we're going to go to RAIDBOTS, and then we're going to go quick sim, paste the text here. The website for this is raidbots.com. Link is also down below. And then here you can choose how many iterations. This shows how many times the simulation will run. The more you have, the better. If you're not a premium member, it's set to a certain default here. There may be limits on what you can do. Fight style, there's patchwork. This is the most standard one you will use. You mainly use this for single target damage. So here you can have hectic ad cleave, light movement, heavy movement, and so on. So we mainly use patchwork for single target damage output. And 5 minutes fight length. So we click on this run quick sim, and then SimCraft is going to generally generate the outcome based on how much damage you do. Okay, so now the sim is running, it's processing its job, and here we have the output of the DPS. So it's going to estimate that my DPS output, if I make no mistakes in my rotations, this is for 2,021,000 DPS. And here you can see what gear I'm running and what talents I'm running. So this is the most basic one you're going to use, and now we're going to go to a little bit more advanced. Now what I like about RAIDBOTS, it gives you a really easy design on how to use your different functions. For example, I want to know what stats are good for me right now based on my gear. I do the same thing. I paste the results here, generate stat weights. We'll wait for this to load. Okay, so now we get the results here on this table. As we can see here right now, haste is my most important stat, and mastery comes second. I'm playing a red paladin, if those of you that don't know. This works for every class, by the way. So here you can see that for every 1 point of haste, my DPS will increase by 43.89. And this changes. And as a red paladin, our stat changes every time we unequip a different gear. Every time our stat goes up and down. We don't really have a big variation between our stats. So that's why we always have to sim this to check what is good and what is bad for us. Now, another cool feature of RAIDBOTS that we have. You can also use your Relic Compare. Here I can paste my SimC add-on results here. So what you want to do, you do the same thing. You paste it here, and it should automatically fill out all the details of what are your relics, what crucible stats you have, and then I can duplicate this and just change a few details. Like say I'm using Master of Shadows, and instead of Deliver Justice, I've got Wrath of the Ashbringer. And here you just compare relics. If you want to compare more, you can just keep duplicating, test different things, replace the actual relic itself. And then you click on compare relics, and it's going to give you a result as well, as you can see. So as you can see here, we have the two different results, and it shows me how much do I have with these stats and how much would I gain with this, and you can see the differences. I have show relative difference ticked here, so I can see percentage change, or I can just see pure raw numbers here. without the relative difference, but I always have this tick because it gives me a really good overview. So you can do this with many things. We have the talent compare here. You can choose different talents and compare it with your current talents to see what's the optimal talent for you. You have the top gear compare. So with this, there's some unique things. So this managed to pick up all of my gear that I have in my inventory. But one add-on that I mentioned earlier is called sim_per_mut. So I type in /sim_per_mut. It essentially does something similar. Here you can see I have all the different gears in my inventory. I can check a few. Say I want to compare these and these items. You check that, you click generate, auto SimC export, copy this and paste it here. And it's going to give you these options. So here, since I'm not a premium member, I'm on the free account, I can only do 300,000 iterations. You'll see some limits when you try to do all of your inventory, so just pick the essential items. And then I can generate the same thing and compare what is my best output, what gear should I be using to increase my single target DPS. As you can see here, it gives me a result. It shows me what is my most optimum gear set and what happens when I change my gear set around with the options that I have. So if I switch on my gloves, I lose 1% DPS, choose a different neck, I lose DPS, the combination I lose even more, and so on. So you can see here what is my most optimum. Currently I am equipping the most optimum, so thanks for RAIDBOTS that I can do this and I don't have to guess what gear is good for me and what is not. Lastly, I'm going to show you the final feature that I use very often. It's called Gear Compare. Here I try to predict what is the next item I want, how much will it affect my DPS, and how I'm going to roll for the loot council for the item that I want. So I go to Gear Compare, paste my SimCraft results here, and you can see it already populates my gear set, and say I want to know what happens if I increase my chest to the mythic set, and I want a mythic Seeping Scourge Wing, so a 960 eye level Seeping Scourge Wing. So here I can add item, select Seeping Scourge Wing, and I choose it to be 960, and it's going to occupy trinket slot 1, so here. And another cool thing you can do, you can save the gear set, so you can create your own gear set and try to prepare in advance what's your best gear set outcome. Here I can duplicate it and say I only want to know what happens if I only add the Seeping Scourge Wing. See how big of a difference each one will make. Okay, so now we have the results, and what we can see here, if I have 2 mythic pieces here, my DPS would increase by 1.8%, whereas if I just have the trinket, it's 1%, so by default the chest is 8%. And here I can plan in the future which items are more important, which one I need to get ASAP, and so on. So this will help you in the future to plan for your gear outcomes. So yeah, this is all there is that I have to show you today for RAIDBOTS. This is the most simple way to use it. It's a very powerful tool. If you don't know what gear to use, you receive a new item and you want to see what different combinations do you have that can give you the best output to your raids. And this is a highly useful tool. Many people use it on the PTR to just test their things. They mainly used Simulation Craft. It's a specific program. It does the same thing, a little bit more old in terms of the designing of the actual application. So in that sense, it's a bit harder to use, but it's definitely more advanced. That's why I recommend if you're just the average player, use RAIDBOTS. It's simple, it's easy, it's on the cloud, no installation whatsoever. And yeah, let me know if you would like a guide on Red Paladins. I can do that. And be sure to subscribe and like for this video, and I'll catch you next time.